Let's move then to 2.12, Chancellors Reports. Dr. Jackson, Chancellor Jackson.
All right, thank you, Board President. Welcome to those of you that have logged in. Before I turn it over to the presidents for their report, I want to start out with some good news. The district has received a check in the amount of $271,300 from our insurance provider, ACIP. These funds are a result of effective claims management by our risk coordinator, Ms. Carrie Burdick. With Royal Roberts transitioning from employee relations and later to the chief of staff role, Carrie Burdick has taken on that challenge and stepped up to the plate. I want to take this opportunity to publicly recognize the risk coordinator, Carrie, who has consistently, according to Royal, made workplace safety a priority by providing training and monitoring in order to mitigate the risk to the district. So, Carrie, thank you very much for your efforts. They do not go unrecognized. And because I like a little bit of variety, I'm going to start with Merritt Colleges Report first of the presidents, and then followed by Laney College, College of Alameda, and then Berkeley City College. So I will turn it over to President Johnson.
Thank you, Chancellor. So good evening, Madam President, trustees, and Peralta community. I'm going to use my time tonight to commend two Merritt College.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Dr. Johnson.
See, this is what happened when you let me go first. No, I don't know how much of that you heard. I said I wanted to start my remarks tonight by congratulating, in all seriousness, two Merritt College students, Brianna Wing and Freddie Ika. I don't know if all of you have the opportunity to tune in today, but they co-hosted a Merritt College town hall event titled A Call to Action Against Asian American and Pacific Islander Hate. And the purpose of this forum was to discuss the ongoing racism and violence that's been directed at those communities and what we can do as individuals and communities to stem the tide of hate. We had three amazing panelists, Dr. Russell Jung, who is the co-founder of the Stop AAPI Hate Movement. He's also a professor of Asian American Studies at San Francisco State. We had Larry Oso, who is a former mental health counselor at Merritt, but currently works as a psychotherapist. And we had, from my alma mater, Dr. Michael Omi, who is a professor of ethnic studies at UC Berkeley. So it was a tremendous event. And I just want to say that we were humbled by the opportunity to support our students. We are in, if you have a chance to see the presentation, we are in really good hands. They did a phenomenal job of moderating and keeping the conversation going. And just for the record, they were really able to end on a high note with us conveying our solidarity with every community committed to combating acts of discrimination, the persistence of institutional racism, and cases of racial violence at every turn. We had about 90 students on the call, and I understand that our dear Mark Johnson is going to have the video on Peralta TV, YouTube very soon. So look forward to that. I encourage you to watch it, and also be on the lookout for the creation out of this webinar today. We have the creation at Merritt College of the AAPI Club, the Asian American Pacific Islander Club at Merritt College. So we're very excited that the students are taking the initiative and really going to keep this momentum going to have a substantive movement to support that community. So thank you.
David, I'm sorry, Dr. Johnson, were you going to mention the wins of your cybersecurity, your national wins of your cybersecurity program?
I can do that. Thank you, Trustee Handy. I didn't know how much time I had, but I was trying to be under the wire. But yes, every year, this has become common practice for us because every year our cybersecurity team shows up and shows out. So out of 10,000 students from colleges and universities across the country, our team, our cybersecurity team, they came in, they were motivated, they dedicated their play to the late Miss Anita Black. And out of 922 teams, we were in the top 31 or the top 3.4%. And I just really want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge the leaders and instructors of that program really quickly. Mark Egan, Jim Cates, Beverly Brooks, Art Scott, Diego Kennedy, Sandy Kay, Mary Nakahara, and Courtney Brown. So thank you, Trustee Handy. That's just what we do at Merritt with the cybersecurity. So I appreciate the opportunity to show off a little bit, and we'll be back in the winner's circle next year. So thank you.
Yes, good evening, Chancellor, members of the Board of Trustees, and colleagues in education. It is, as always, a pleasure to speak to everyone this evening. You'll see in my background, and it's been mentioned, that this week is Black Student Success Week. I look forward to actually coming back to you at the next meeting to provide some stories of student success at Laney College that hit very close to home. So I guess you'll all have to show up next time for the meeting. So look forward to sharing that with everyone. I'm hopefully going to start a little bit of a streak here. At my last report, I mentioned some great partners that Laney College has, and I'm going to go ahead and continue that and recognize the Lend a Hand Foundation and appreciate them for the $6,500 in scholarships that they have donated to students in our Extended Opportunities Programs and Services, or EOPS programs. You will see actually a very neat leaflet within your board report this evening. There's actually a link to it. And you're going to get to read stories about these students who will be recipients, and the fact that they'll be pursuing fields such as accounting, business, biology, Spanish, social sciences, and a number of other majors. Really, Laney appreciates its partners, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Lend a Hand this evening. Also, at the last board meeting, I mentioned the area of interest jams that were put together by our Guided Pathways leadership, as well as our area of interest coordinators that continue to build on the success and momentum we have with our area of interest maps that have been helping students do backwards planning, if you will, as they decide their educational pathways. Well, I'm so pleased to report that the work continues. Those sessions were podcasted, and certainly the outreach continues with that. But what I'd like to highlight this evening is that as of last week, via our social media campaign, the areas of interest efforts on our website grew the interest grew to 41,000 looks at or views of our website, and certainly in the engagement of our Guided Pathways continues. And I just want to say thank you to the faculty, the classified professionals, and the administrators who really come together on Guided Pathways to make it a success story at Laney College. Speaking of success stories, I'll close my report tonight with an update on our food distribution efforts. Through the continuing collaboration with the World Central Kitchen, so far we've had 124 food distribution dates, 55,705 meals distributed, and over 13,200 produce boxes. But what's new and what's different about that is that we are actually, in addition to doing the food distribution, we're doing direct outreach to our labs that are meeting on campus. And we've been doing that since early March. And with that effort, we've distributed 1,606 meals to students in their lab classes, as well as 84 boxes of produce to students in subject areas such as athletics, carpentry, machine technology, wood technology, culinary arts, and our Fab Lab. As we go through May, thanks to our collaboration with the World Central Kitchen, we're anticipating 700 meals per week with them, as well as through our in-house efforts, an additional 400 meals per week to be distributed. And also, ongoing thanks needs to go to the Alameda County Food Bank, who continues to donate and produce boxes for us to distribute to our students in need. So with those stories of success, I'll close my report for this evening. Thank you very much.
Good evening, President Reese, trustees, Chancellor Jackson, colleagues, and guests. I'm very happy to share with you this evening a few highlights of the amazing work our students, faculty, and staff are doing. I continue to be inspired by the resilience, dedication, and compassion of the College of Alameda community. Please join me in congratulating Professor and author Wanda Sabir for having her provocative and heart-stirring poem entitled Night Rain for Brianna published in the San Francisco Bay View National Black newspaper. Well done, Professor Sabir. College of Alameda staff and administrators, in collaboration with the Alameda Unified School District team, worked to reopen the Alameda Science and Technology Institute to face-to-face instruction last week. The team worked diligently to ensure that we would have a safe and learning and work environment for students to return to face-to-face instruction. Our close collaboration is a testament to the strength and quality of the COA and AUSD partnership. Further, College of Alameda has provided $3,800 in emergency food grants thus far this year in the form of $100 Safeway gift cards to aid students and their families challenged with food insecurity. Students in College of Alameda's art classes are producing meaningful art inspired by the pandemic that reflect their resilience, creativity, and indelible human spirit. Lastly, I, along with leaders at the college, the district, and across the state, have participated in the Black Student Success Week activities, which have included presentation from scholars, legislators, thought leaders, and activists, as well as panel discussions with students and advocacy efforts. Now is the time to be bold, persistent, and courageous in dismantling barriers to Black and Brown student success. Get involved and make it happen. Thank you. This concludes my report this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson, colleagues, and community members. For my report this evening on behalf of Berkeley City College, I want to highlight a few programs, activities that support student success and engagement. During College Roundtable this past week, we had a full agenda of college governance work, including the overview of the district strategic plan, our health, safety, and facilities committees, and their joint work to contribute on our BCC return to campus plan, faculty-driven effort to include multimedia faculty and their area of expertise to help us increase our social media presence throughout the community. And I also want to highlight the work of the Academic Senate, which recently passed a resolution on equity, diversity, and racial justice. The commitment of faculty to remain steadfast in addressing structural barriers for student success, equity, and completion should be commended. Also want to take a moment to highlight the transfer admission process. Notifications are coming out regarding the UC system, with increasing numbers of BCC students earning placements this fall at UC Berkeley, Davis, Santa Barbara, and Los Angeles. I want to take a moment of personal privilege here to recognize our ASBCC President Liam Zhu, as he will be joining the new Cal Bears. He will become a Bear this fall, so he's not going to go too far up from Center Street, and he has promised that he will meet me for lunch when we are post-COVID, so I'm going to hold him to that. And he is but one of the many Berkeley City College students who have achieved this point in their transfer pathway because of the collective work of classified professionals, faculty, administrators, community members, and board members here. We're just really proud of our students. On the front end, as opposed to the graduation and completion, we've engaged over 400 Richmond Promise seniors from West Contra Costa Unified, really focusing on a seamless transition to access the curriculum, academic, and career programs at Berkeley City College and throughout the Peralta Community College District. And also in supporting first-year students transitioning in, our Society of Scholars team has facilitated over 30 group enrollment sessions this semester, again, focusing on removing the barriers that students face when trying to enroll into our colleges. As high school students are preparing for graduation, Berkeley High School recognizes graduating Black seniors and Latinx seniors. And we were invited by Dr. Dawn Williams, a Berkeley High instructor, put out a call out to local businesses to fill up graduation bags for students. And so Berkeley City College was pleased to share materials for that in celebration of Black and Brown students graduating from high school, and of course, shamelessly and unapologetically inviting them to come into our district to continue their education. We'll have an opportunity coming up with Cinco de Mayo. I was happy to hear the student earlier who said that it's not Independence Day, so I was really grateful to hear that. But I will be on a panel with City of Berkeley Mayor Jesse Arreguin for the Latina community, the impact of COVID and the responsibility of leaders to continue to promote education and workforce development for the City of Berkeley. And lastly, I want to close, as my colleague, President Besikof shared, and President Jones, this week is Black Student Success Week throughout the California Community College system, which started yesterday, really focusing on Black brilliance, excellence, success, completion. It's just been phenomenal, and it's only 2 days in. However, sadly for Berkeley City College, we began our week with news on the passing of a student. At Berkeley City College, we believe that we transform lives. It's devastating when one of those lives is tragically lost. So this past weekend, we learned that BCC student Demetrius Roosevelt Fleming Davis was struck and killed by a stray gunshot in West Oakland on April 10th. He was 18 years old. He would have been 19 last Thursday. I cannot believe I'm getting emotional, but maybe so. I'm heartbroken by this tragedy. Another senseless killing in our community, in our African-American communities, and our deepest condolences go out to his family, his friends, and the community. And with that, I will conclude our report for Berkeley City College.
Thank you very much, Presidents. I appreciate your reports. I do have a few comments before I finish with the Chancellor's briefing. I'd like to thank the board, first of all, for putting me in this position for me to give back to a community that I've served for almost 10 years. My first 12 days have been extraordinarily busy. I've always believed in providing a vision, and when I spoke to the administrative units within the district on each of the campuses, I had that opportunity. I provided an overarching goal because I feel that we always need to have something that we can strive to move towards. The theme I'd like to proffer during my time here is back to the future. Not very original, but really speaks to what I'm trying to do. And back to the future, back to basics. I believe this district has great faculty, classified professionals, administrator, and of course, our extraordinary and amazing students. We have been the standard bearers in this region in the past. And we must go back, I feel, to those roots to reaffirm our commitment to our students and to our community. Those actions will then guide us as we move into the future. So I want to end my report with expressing my condolences to the Berkeley City College faculty, staff, and to the family of Berkeley City College student Demetrius Roosevelt Fleming Davis, who was struck and killed by a stray bullet. And I would ask that we as a board have a moment of silence at the end of the meeting in respect and acknowledgement of the loss of one of our students, a time too soon. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson, Chancellor Jackson, and thank you, presidents. And Dr. Garcia, I will give you the meeting at the end so that we could close in honor of Demetrius. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you. We don't have any informational items. However, we are going to go right into consent. So could I have a motion for our consent, please?
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen. Second?
Seconds.
Thank you, Trustee Jenkins. Discussion and roll call, please.
Student Trustee Urani? Absent. Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee Handy?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Bonilla?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen?
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellaris?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Let's move to our action items. 9.1, consider second reading and approval of